We have a recipe with blueberries and lemon on the website, but I don't think you'll mind if we add another one. And to make the description a bit different, we'll make this one with blueberries and lime. We'll make a very nice vanilla sponge in the sense that it doesn't have cocoa, and we'll put some lime zest in it. I think it will look very cool. And we start with some egg white, 105 grams, that we'll whip up slowly and add 80 grams of sugar. We whip until whipped and it's stable and shiny. And for now we'll set it aside and we'll mix the butter. We whip the egg white first because I'm lazy and I don't want to wash the blades. So if I mix the butter first, I can use them to mix the egg whites. Here we have 90 grams of butter and 75 grams of sugar that will mix really well. The butter must be soft. You can see how white it got and it foamed up. And now the dry ingredients. I put in a bowl 160 grams of flour, 22 grams of cocoa nut, 6 grams of baking powder and a pinch of salt. And on top I'll add 12 grams of lime zest, or you can add lemon zest. Just make sure that the limes or the lemons that you use have edible zest so they are untreated. And 135 grams of milk at room temperature. And now I'll add the dry ingredients in 3 additions and the milk in 2 additions. First, some of the dry ingredients I'll mix, then some of the milk, mix again, so alternating them. Make sure the milk is not very hot because if it's hot, it will melt the butter and the sponge won't be as fluffy. And at the end, we add the meringue in 2-3 additions, trying to mix slowly so we get a fluffy sponge at the end. We'll bake the sponge in an 18 cm ring at 150 Celsius, no fan, for about an hour. Because it's a dense sponge, it will take some time for it to bake all the way through, so we are baking it at a lower temperature. Until the sponge cools, I want to make a lemon cream, well actually a lime cream, a curd that we'll use as an insert in our cake, so we have a stronger lemon taste that compensates the blueberries. And for this, I have an egg that I'll whip slightly. And in a kettle I put 75 grams of lime juice and 60 grams of sugar and heated them up until the sugar melted. And I'll slowly pour over the egg. I put the bowl on a double boiler, mixing with a spatula until the mixture thickens. When it thickens, you can see the texture. I'll add 50 grams of butter, mixing until it's integrated. And at the very end, 100 grams of candied lime zest to add some texture to this curd. We'll start filling the cake. The sponge has cooled and I sliced it in three, and for the blueberry mousse, I heated 250 grams of blueberry puree with 60 grams of sugar until the sugar has melted. In a smaller bowl, 7.5 grams of gelatin, hydrated with 38 grams of very cold water, that I'll add on top of the puree. And the heat from the puree will melt the gelatin. Maybe you remember this mousse, since we made it already on the channel. In a bowl, 80 grams of mascarpone, and I begin to slowly add the blueberry puree, mixing. And at the end, 225 grams of cream that I whipped, not too soft, not too hard, and we'll add in about 3 turns. And we get this fluffy blueberry mousse with a superb color. We'll start to fill the cake and we'll use about 320 grams of mousse on each layer. On top of it, I'll put the lime curd, about 150 grams on each layer, trying to put the curd on the middle of the cake, not the sides, so it doesn't spill on the sides when the cake is sliced, since the curd will be a little softer than the mousse. The next sponge layer, again the mousse, the curd, and the final sponge. We put the cake in the fridge for at least 6 hours, or even better, overnight, and we'll be back to decorate it. For the exterior of the cake, I will use cream cheese. So in a bowl I heated, or even melted a bit, 135 grams of butter, added 90 grams of powdered sugar and a bit of vanilla, and I'll mix them very well. After that, I added 337 grams of cold cream cheese and I mix again, 10-20 seconds max. And we start frosting the cake. Honestly, I can't wait to try a slice. And for the decoration, I saw somewhere on the internet a cake with blueberries and flowers, and it seemed to fit this cake very well, so I'll try to replicate that. I got here some edible flowers and we'll see how it goes. Well, for sure you'll do a better job decorating than me. This was the recipe for today. I gotta end this because I gotta try a slice of this cake. Thanks for watching. I'll see you next time. Bye bye.